Militarily Speaking, episode 69, Huts for Vets.
This episode, we talk with Chris Joyce, Program Director with Huts for Vets.
Welcome to Militarily Speaking, brought to you by Armed Forces Bank. This is Tom McLean, who shouldn't be here right now, and Jodi Vickery. I'm the military retail executive for Armed Forces Bank, and Jodi is the executive vice president, director of consumer banking. I'm going to say it again, you're celebrating your 4-year anniversary coming up really soon, too. So it's all about celebrations when you're involved with Armed Forces Bank, Chris Joyce. So get excited for the next couple hours because it's a good time.
Don't run away, Chris. I promise it will be 2 hours. And 4 is my lucky number, so it should be a good year coming up. Again, welcome to our show. We're excited to have you listening and learning all about our guest, Chris Joyce with Huts for Vets. And I want to take just a second, Chris, and tell our audience a little bit about you, all things that are not new information for you, but for them it will be, perhaps. Chris Joyce is the program director and a board member for Huts for Vets. He is a Marine Corps veteran, having served from 2007 to 2011. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, Chris.
Along with facilitating Huts for Vets programs, Chris focuses on helping veterans take control over their health with a holistic approach, preparing future participants physically and mentally for their trip. After completing the Huts for Vets program, he motivates them to continue the positive momentum post-trip. He's an avid outdoorsman, a nomad, and is currently building super adobe domes in southern Arizona.
I'm going to have to ask him what that is.
That last sentence means that he's just way cooler than both of us combined.
Is that like PDF Adobe or is it, what is it?
No, I don't think that's what that is.
Right.
It's close.
I just think it'd be cool to be called a nomad.
See, I know, a nomad.
Yeah.
I feel like put that after the end of my name.
It's aspirational.
Right.
Yeah. Jodi Vickery, nomad.
Nomad.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Well, welcome, Chris. It's an honor to have you on our show. And thank you for being with us today. I'd love for you to just take a few minutes here at the top and tell our audience about Huts for Vets at the high level. What is your mission? Who do you serve? And then I know that Tom and I have a whole bunch of questions for you because we're really interested in what you guys are doing there.
It's a plethora of questions.
Yeah. One might say.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thank you for having me here. It's an honor to be here and share the mission of Huts for Vets. Yeah, Huts for Vets was founded in 2013 in Aspen, Colorado, by a gentleman named Paul Anderson, a civilian. He is a journalist and has been in the city of Aspen since the 70s. And Huts for Vets provides at no cost to our participants wilderness and communal experiences as therapeutic healing for U.S. veterans and service and active duty or reservist service members. And our mission is to help the veterans adjust to and enjoy civilian life by gaining tools for enhancing mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional health.
What a great place to do that from, too. Aspen's beautiful.
Oh,
I know.
Absolutely. Yeah, we run our trips in the White River National Forest, which is a pretty large national forest.
Chris, you've been there, 5 years working for Huts for Vets?
Yes. I went on my first Huts for Vets program in 2018, and Paul Anderson, the founder of Huts for Vets, was still running trips at this point. And I had a pretty, I would say, lackluster or underwhelming 4 years in the Marine Corps. I worked on C-130s. I had a great time. Nothing ill to say about the Marine Corps whatsoever. But when you go through boot camp, you're indoctrinated, you're going to kill and go to war. And especially in 2007, it's ramping up to the height of the war. And I deployed to Afghanistan. I was in Kandahar and I was working on planes. I had 12 hours on, 12 hours off, carrying a rifle with 30 rounds, but not going outside the wire and kind of wondering why I'm lugging this rifle around and I'm supposed to be turning wrenches. And so I got out and was pretty aimless for many years after the Marine Corps. The mission, there was no mission in the civilian life or the civilian world that kind of compared to the honor and the height of what you might find in service. So I changed majors, and I was doing civil engineering and then changed to film major and then started working a corporate job, and just nothing was really sticking. And then by 2018, I had a fellow veteran that I met in film schools, applied to Huts for Vets and went, and she said, "You need to go to this." And I said, "Okay." And so I applied, and it took Paul to call me. First, I got an email saying I was accepted, and I was like, well, I don't deserve to be flown out to Colorado. I was in Sacramento at the time, and I was like, I don't deserve this. I wasn't shooting at anybody. I wasn't kicking down doors like my other Marines. And it finally took him, after a couple of weeks, he called me. He's like, "Hey dude, are you going to come or what?" And he really just like, he confronted me, and I was like, wow, okay, I guess I should go. And so I went, and it truly changed my life.
So if Paul didn't call you, you might have never gone on the voyage, right?
Oh, that's right. I don't know. I don't know where I would be. I haven't really thought about that in a long time, but that's a great question. Yeah, my life would be completely different if Paul didn't call me.
But apparently going on the journey was life-changing enough and inspiring enough for you that you said, you know what, I've got to be part of this team, right? So what is that what inspired you? You said your friend went, and then you go, and next thing you know, it's the perfect solution that is helping people.
Right.
And then you joined the team, right?
Essentially, yeah. So right as I was supposed to go on this trip, I was going through a functional medicine health coaching program. And it ended up being very serendipitous because right before I went on the trip, our instructor was telling us, you need to find your niche. What niche market or population are you going to work with? And I didn't really know. And fast forward, I'm going on this veteran trip, and I'm realizing how easy it is to be with a group of veterans and how powerful the conversations we were having and relating to all these other veterans who were experiencing the same things I'm experiencing. And it kind of just clicked. I was like, okay, my niche is veterans. Like this community is awesome. I connect with it so well. I'm invested. And that was really the buy-in for me. And we're hiking down from the hut. This is our second to last day. And Paul's on the hike with us. And I asked Paul, I was like, how can I help? How can I give back? I was ready to give back. And he said, you know what? I could use some help getting veterans ready for our trips, because we're hiking 7 miles at 10,000 feet elevation. And some veterans need some help getting ready for it, preparing physically, mentally. And I was like, that's perfect, because I'm going through a functional medicine health coaching program right now. I'm learning all these coaching techniques. And so that's how I started. I started, and this is before the pandemic, and where Zoom and Skype are just kind of like novel at this point.
Yeah.
So I was having these conversations with veterans who haven't been on the program, and kind of preparing them and telling them about it and answering questions and giving them workouts and goals and all that to get ready for the trip.
I'm trying to think of how long I would have to prepare to march or walk 7 miles at 10,000 feet.
I'm not sure which one's more scary, the distance or the height.
Yeah. Multi-year plan, maybe. I don't know.
But it's a great view. That's all that matters. So it doesn't matter. All that stuff.
Well, we were just out in Boulder, and it's more difficult to breathe out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Just doing like regular walking around stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you got to know I wasn't walking 7 miles a day. So.
By the way, this next question for Chris is multi-pronged, isn't it?
There are multi-parts to this question. It's a very thoughtful question. So I want to understand about, and I want our audience to hear about, most importantly, this 5-day program and the Hunter Frying Pan Wilderness. How many participate at a time? How many trips do you take a year? I know when we were looking at your website, it didn't look, at least at the time, like the dates for 2025 had been set yet. How do folks that are interested tap into that and be alerted or know when those get rolled out so that they can participate?
And it's hutsforvets.org.
Yes.
Right, Chris? So as people listen to this podcast and want to go to your website, I'm sure as you update for 2025, that information will be out there for them as well.
Yes, our website is hutsforvets.org. We actually just revamped our website, so it's nice and sparkly and very aesthetically pleasing and fresh and up to date.
I think sparkly is my favorite adjective that you just used.
Yeah, yes. That's how I view it, at least. So our 5-day program consists of 3 days in the backcountry. We're hiking in the White River National Forest. We utilize the 10th Mountain Division Hut Association huts. So these huts have been built since the 80s. And there's probably around 30 of them scattered in the White River National Forest.
Huh, who knew?
Yeah, and they connect. Well, they're primarily used in the winter for backcountry skiing, and you can ski from Leadville all the way to Aspen. And so there's a lot of rich history there with the 10th Mountain Division. They made their name in World War II, fighting up through Italy to get to Germany. And so, we utilize the 10th Mountain Division huts. They're off-grid backcountry huts, where we have to truck all of our food and water up to them. And it's the perfect setting to relax, to unwind, to disconnect from the buzz of the veterans' daily grind. Our wilderness trips, they feature a curriculum of readings related to nature and service. From this curriculum, we hold group discussions where we talk about ideas, we share our intellect. It's not necessarily an English college lecture or course, but we're there to dive into the deep intellect that veterans have. I always like to think that veterans have seen the best and the worst of humanity. So they're so rich with perspective and ideas of value and courage, but also the darkness of pain, suffering, depression. And it's this ultimate safe space of where veterans can be vulnerable and share what they're going through, or maybe things that have brought them to light, have taken the burden off of them, therapies, other organizations. So it's really just a great place to have these conversations. We're doing it on the trail, we're doing it in the hut, on mountaintops. So it's really pristine country as well. The best views that you'll ever see in this country are there in central Colorado. On top of these conversations we explore other modalities such as yoga, qigong, other mind-body exercises. We have nutritious meals. Anybody that you ask who's been on a Huts for Vets trip, they'll say the food is fantastic. That's what we pride ourselves on. We had a gentleman by the name of Jake Saxon who kind of implemented this. He was a local farmer and brought all this farm to fork meals and just tremendous eating. We're not just having hot dogs and soda. We're having
Beans.
Right. We're having carnita tacos and French toast up there, that kind of stuff. So we really pride ourselves on nutritious meals because health is what you eat. It's not only hiking and the intellect side of it. Like, we want to make sure our participants are eating well, because that's a healthy body for a healthy mind. Another aspect of our trip is a solo time. We have structured solo time. So on our middle day up at the mountains or up at the hut, we will go out and hike a few miles, and then we will have some discussions, and then we'll conclude those discussions with spreading out our group to where they kind of feel secluded, and they get an hour of solo time where they can journal, reflect, take a nap, read, whatever they'd like. We just ask them no side quests. We say just stay kind of where we put you, and yeah, and it's amazing to how much benefit that 1 hour of solo time provides our participants. We get a lot of positive feedback on that solo time. Many are apprehensive about it because solitude can be scary and to be with your own thoughts. But I think in this particular setting, there's no better place to do it. So really enjoy that part of our program. And our staff is mostly veterans. We have a mental health professional who comes on every trip as a resource for our program. We don't make it mandatory for our participants to speak to the mental health professional. They're more there as a resource, like I said. And we offer trips for men, women, and co-ed. So we offer these 3 different types of trips to encourage the most open dialogue. Women veterans can have their own sets of issues that they'd like to discuss in the safety amongst women. Men the same way. And then the co-ed trips offer that kind of dynamic that is pretty normal, I would say, in most aspects of the military since it's been integrated. So all those trips provide tremendous energy in their own way. So at the end of our program, veterans emerge with new bonds with their fellow veterans, as well as a new renewed outlook on life and a tool set for dealing with civilian life.
So how many participants are in each excursion, whether it's men, women, or co-ed?
Yeah, so our trips, we try to have a group of 10 to 12. We found that's the perfect kind of group size to have, that where everybody can feel like they can express their opinions without feeling like theirs is going to get lost amongst the group. But it's also enough to where we can have many dynamics and a hearty conversation.
It sounds perfect.
It's the right size.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean the whole
excursion
environment
itself.
and everything that, yeah.
It's that nature thing. We'll talk later, I think, Chris, too, about how we've had a lot of guests that the outdoors seems to be
I think I should go
a
on
destination.
site and
I know every
experience
hour
this
that you work in
firsthand
this building, just go outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm going to his event.
You should go in Aspen. Yeah.
Yes, I need to be a on-scene reporter.
Chris, talk about the partners, the sponsors, the companies over the last decade or so that have helped Huts for Vets or that play a role in helping you achieve the mission, helping you advance the mission, allow you to have these excursions, the opportunity for people to better themselves and find relief, find outlets for them to be able to share their stories. But how do the partners and sponsors play a role? And I'm sure people in our audience are connected to military organizations or the veteran community that may want to reach out to you either through your website or reach out to you directly or to Paul or anybody else at Huts for Vets to talk about that. But talk about partners and sponsors.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, as a nonprofit 501c3, we couldn't do it without our partners and sponsors. As program director, I focus on the program and making sure our trips are executed. And I reach out to companies to see if they can donate either in kind or a monetary donation. So as of late, Trace Minerals has been tremendous sponsor, giving us lots of electrolytes for our participants so that way they can stay hydrated and properly fueled with Kate's Real Food, Justin's peanut butter, almond butter, with Dr. Bronner's giving us soap and hand sanitizer and even chocolate. So we have a lot of companies who are giving to us who really help us execute our program. We also have lots of local donors who support us year round, and it's just tremendous. We hold a golf tournament every year in Aspen, and the Aspen Glen Club has been our new home, and it's been wonderful there.
It's great.
Yeah, and we're always looking for new sponsors and partners, and they can find us at hutsforvets.org. They can send us a check. Our address is on there. We need all the support we can get to continue to run these trips.
I'm still going back to these nutrition meals that he offers too. I just came out of a meeting, Chris, and I said, "What's your favorite cereal?" I asked the group, and they're coming back with things like Apple Jacks and Cocoa Pebbles and Frankenberry.
Okay,
and I'm like, I don't think they would fit on the menu with your team.
No cereal on our team. I mean, I tell all the veterans, like, hey, you can bring your snacks, but we're gonna have like eggs and bacon, and
keeps you sharp too when the healthy body, right?
That's right. Healthy body, healthy mind. Yeah.
I know. Now we both have to go to Aspen.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
And they're probably real eggs too. I was about a week ago old when I learned like hotels use powdered eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that?
Oh no,
I did not know that.
Shut it down, Jodi.
I need to go to Aspen. I need to see this.
Veterans know powdered eggs very well. That's kind of.
I didn't even know it was a thing. I spent a lot of time in hotels of late. And
plethora of knowledge from Jodi Vickery.
Apparently, it's a thing. So yeah. But I bet yours are for real eggs with for real bacon.
Yes.
So now I'm hungry. Thank you.
For it.
So talk about your team a little bit too. I mean, we've described the trips. You mentioned that you do have the licensed psychologist there. If they want access to that person, that's kind of up to them. But talk about the rest of the team and who accompanies the group on the trips and how is that structured?
Yeah, so a program team or a program trip will have a team of 2 trip leaders. We'll have support staff. We call them hut master and food coordinator, and then our mental health coach. So it's typically a 5-person team. We try to keep our team veterans. I mentioned Paul Anderson started this organization, and his son Tate was there with him the entire time. So Tate is still with us. He's our base camp manager, and he also writes grants applies for grants for us. So he's an integral part of our organization and our team. He grew up in the Aspen area and knows these woods like the back of his hand. He's been on pretty much every trail, and then mostly off trail. He can navigate anybody off the mountain or onto the mountain, and it's just a wealth of knowledge and a great team member. Our executive director, Eric Villasenor, has been with the organization since 2000, an Army veteran. and he's leading the way for our organization, both on the program level and then raising funds for us and being a representative of Huts for Pets. And then we heavily rely on our volunteers to comprise the rest of the staff and the team, local veterans who have been on the program multiple times and love the mission just as much as we do and volunteer their time to facilitate these trips, whether it's discussions, cooking, driving the truck up and down the mountain. They're awesome. We couldn't do it without our volunteers and our team members and our staff. So then our board members are just the same. They are tremendous help, comprised mostly of veterans. We also have a few civilians. And it's really important to have our board comprised mostly of veterans, because as we're serving veterans, they know the needs of veterans, being veterans themselves. Our board vice president is a Vietnam veteran. Our board president is of OEF, IEF. And we also have one of our mental health professionals, Justin Lincoln, who's been with the organization since, I think, 2013 or 14, civilian, but has worked with veterans for decades and offers a unique outside perspective for their organization as well. So yeah, tremendous leaders keeping us on track and keeping us growing, finding new solutions and avenues as we continue to grow our organization. Our organization's board meetings used to be coffee and donuts once a month, and now we're professionalized and investing and all this stuff. So it's really great to be part of this growth and grow our programming as we get more and more applicants. We're getting more applicants every single year. So where we used to have a hard time filling 6 trips, we try to offer 6 trips a year during the summer months between June and September. So that's about 2 trips a month for June, July, August, and maybe September. We got to wait till the snow melts, and we got to get it in before the snow comes again. So,
and now, Chris, you have a waiting list, it sounds like, right?
Oh, yes.
Because you're getting that much interest.
So much interest, and it's mostly word of mouth. There's so many veteran organizations out there that are helping this community, and the word gets passed around pretty quickly of which organizations are doing it right and really helping veterans and doing what they say their mission is there to offer. And we're lucky and honored that we're amongst the top of them that are getting recommended, and veterans are wanting to come back, or alumni are wanting to come back. And we try to focus on veterans who haven't been through our program, and with offering 6 trips a year and 10 to 12 veterans per trip, we get to serve around 60 to 70 veterans, but we would love to send more veterans on our trips as we're getting hundreds of applications. So unfortunately, we're not able to accept everybody, but that keeps us motivated to keep growing and keep finding.
Yeah, that's probably one of the good problems to have,
Yes.
right? Is that there's that much interest. And
Yep. Means you're doing it right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
As a military spouse, I understand how unpredictable life can be. Whether it's a PCS move or just everyday expenses, money can be tight. That's why it's so important to have a checking account that works for you.
Armed Forces Bank offers our Access Freedom checking accounts designed with military families in mind. If you're looking for no monthly fees, early military pay, and no fee access to over 38,000 ATMs nationwide, we've got you covered. Plus, with our user-friendly mobile app, managing your money is a breeze, no matter where you're stationed.
And with about 75% of our team affiliated with the military, Armed Forces Bank really understands the challenges faced by the military and their families. We've been supporting military families for over 100 years, so you know we'll always have your back.
If you're ready for a checking account that's as flexible as you are, head over to afbank.com or visit a branch near you. Armed Forces Bank, serving those who serve. Member FDIC, $25 opening deposit and e-statements required. Direct deposit required for early military pay. Closing new accounts within 90 days of opening will result in a $25 early closure fee. Message and data rates charged by your mobile phone carrier may apply. It's also nice to see from a board composition standpoint and to have representation from many branches of service, if not all branches of service, maybe minus the Space Force. But
Right.
it's a good diverse group, and typically, if you're 10 to 12 participants, might be coming from all different branches of service. So you've got your board that understands that, just as we do as a bank. with the people we hire. 80% of the people that work in our banking centers have a military connection. So we understand the lifestyle, we understand the needs, and we've walked in their boots, as they say. So we get it.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm sure the answer is pointing them back to the website, hutsforvets.org. But I assume that if folks hear this, and whether they're an organization or just an individual, whether they've served or not, that they would find ways on the website to connect with you, whether that's to donate financially, donate their time. I mean, is it the case that all paths sort of run through the website for that?
Yes, if anybody has any questions about our organization or wants to donate money, time, resources, definitely go to hutsforvets.org. We're also on all those social medias at hutsforvets. That's a great way to reach us as well if that's more of your speed.
Okay, great.
Hey, we're at that time of the show, Jodi, where we have this special moment where we
I apologize. I have no idea what he's about to do.
Where we recognize our guest nonprofit with a testimonial that's out there for you. My Huts for Vets retreat was nothing short of amazing. The Huts for Vets team has done an incredible job programming these retreats. So kudos to you, Chris. From the opportunity to hike in the Rockies with amazing views, the camaraderie experience with other vets, and the ability to step back for a few days and focus on healing, I would highly encourage all vets to consider this opportunity. I'll just call it an anonymous, but you've got certainly some great testimonials out there. And I could take the rest of the show talking about these pages of testimonials that you get for kudos to the work that you do. So you can't respond to that. So I'm going to keep going, Chris. I'm sure there's a blend, right, of active duty and veterans that go on these trips, but is it skewed one way or the other? Is it more towards the veteran community, or what's the mix that you typically get on these trips?
Yes, I would say majority of our participants are veterans. I would say close to 95% of our participants are veterans. Very few active duty. I would say that's because active duty, you're busy with the mission that's currently going on. However, I would say this year we had a few active duty Air Force men come on our trip who are in the process of transitioning out of the military, which is tremendous. I think that's the way to do it. If you're active duty, our organization would be a great transition process or a journey to go on to learn from veterans who have been out for a while, to gain perspective on how to transition out, to gain tools on and perspective of like, hey, this wasn't offered to me when I got out. This is my journey of getting out, or these are the troubles that I had. So I think active duty members or even reservists who are looking to leave the military service, a trip like ours would be perfect to attend as they look to separate, just to gain tools and perspective on and strategies on how to exit the military seamlessly.
Yeah, no, that's a big transition, no matter what the circumstance. So
yeah.
Yes.
We did notice too that you had, as an organization, participated in a study with the Eastern Psychological Association. It had some pretty significant findings. I think anecdotally, it makes sense, kind of what we would all believe to be true about this kind of immersive experience. But could you share some of the findings from that survey with our audience that just further support this process and this journey that you're taking veterans on?
Yeah, we've been a part of a few studies now, and as an operations guy, I don't really pay too much attention to the studies, but I obviously they're super important for research, because research backing our modalities is going to lead to more funding, which allows us to serve more veterans. So I'm very honored to be a part of these studies, and they find, like you said, we see the anecdotal results of our trips where people are leaving with like a renewed sense of purpose, or a set of tools that they can take back home to cope with stress or depression or anxiety. But the results from these studies are showing a significant decrease in depression, anxiety, stress, and an increase of a sense of belonging and
right.
Mm-hmm.
and all these other positive factors, happiness and just optimism. So there is this interesting find that from the baseline of, say, factor of negative affect. It goes down tremendously from baseline to the last day of our trip. But we see with all these types of measurements, we kind of see this kind of like an uptick back. We call it the post-trip blues, where veterans, they go on this tremendous trip and they have a great time, and then they get back to reality and they're like, man, that trip was so awesome. I miss it. I miss
I'm going to go live out in the mountains.
Right. Yeah.
I could see how that would happen.
Yeah. So I always find that interesting and that's where I kind of come in as part of my duties and my mission with Hustler Vets is to keep in touch with veterans as much as I can. As the years go on, there's so many veterans. So it can be challenging to keep up with all of them, but I like to touch base with them periodically and see how they're doing and see what kind of tools that they're still utilizing, and kind of challenge them to connect with local veteran organizations in their area and stay in tune with that community. So yeah, these studies are great. I think we're currently working on another study to be a part of, and it's just going to benefit veterans and veteran organizations.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and we do studies sometimes here too on different things, financial impacts on military families.
Financial readiness stuff.
And it's often the case that because we live it and because you live it every day, you know these things are true.
Yeah.
Because you've seen it with your own eyes and the people's lives that you've changed. Same with us and our clients that we've helped. But it's sometimes helpful to make the case to outside eyes when you can say, and here's a data study to support, whatever it is that you're relaying about the program. So
100%.
Yeah.
Chris, we're coming towards the end, and I'm getting post-podcast blues, which is what Jodi has every time.
Every time I leave your company,
when she and I get together like this, it's like, does it really have to end
immediately? Yeah. How did you know, Tom?
I mentioned earlier, Chris, we were talking about the nature, talking about team building, talking about sharing the connections, the common bond. I think we've danced around it a little bit to know what the nature is, the outdoors. It's almost the escapism, the fact that you're one with nature, the fact you don't have all these text messages going off and all these emails coming in and just the noise of life.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think it is about the beauty of Aspen, or just being outdoors 10,000 feet above sea level and just hanging out with 10 or 12 people to be one with nature? What is it about it, since you've lived it?
That's a great question. Wilderness. To steal some words from Doug Peacock, an author, a Vietnam veteran, Green Beret medic. The past few hundred years have little effect on our genome, the human genome. We evolved out in the wilderness, and the Native American population questions the word wilderness to begin with. Like, what's wild about it? This is out there is where we evolved, where we connected, where we survived and thrived. That's where our genome belongs. And so we bring veterans out there to kind of go back to this elusive center that we've kind of wandered away from, being confined in cement walls and the buzz of electricity and technology and all that. So all this stimulus, all this current societal stimulus is overwhelming. It's a lot of input. So bringing veterans out into nature, away from the screens and electricity, this buzz begins to fade. And we have a reading in our curriculum that talks about this 3-day effect. And after 3 days in wilderness, away from technology and electricity and all the buzz, you can just feel this almost like a weight off your shoulders, or even like a physical buzzing out of your ears, minus the tinnitus that most veterans have.
Right.
It's origin. I would say if there was one word for it, it's origin. Heading back to the origin of humanity, and another aspect about nature is relating to animals. It's funny, being in the middle of Colorado in the mountains, we'll run into deer, elk, moose. We'll see bear sign. We haven't run into any bear lately, thankfully. But if we do see an animal, sometimes I walk up on the group and everybody's looking in the same direction, and kind of everybody's body is facing towards this certain direction. And I happen to look, and it's probably a deer, a big buck. And that's the power of animals and out in nature, is that it holds everybody captive, because animals don't tax themselves in the forethought of grief or the doom or anxiety of societal pressures. And so to have this spectacle of an animal in the most natural setting possible, we take awe. We're almost taking notes of just how to be and how to just run on instinct. It's a tremendous feeling. And that's what nature provides, is this kind of reset, this guidance back to origin. And it's literally grounding as well. And some people might find it woo-woo, but I love grounding. I like get my bare feet on the ground and the dirt and the mud. And I encourage our participants to do that when we're doing yoga or qigong or just relaxing. Like, take your shoes off and feel the dirt underneath your feet and release that tension, that anxiety, that excess buildup of electrons, and send it to the ground. And many take me up on it, and then they end up thanking me later.
Awesome.
I'm relaxed just hearing him talk about that. I'm going to have to go have solo time this afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I know that you found your niche with the veteran community, but hearing you describe this, I mean, I think if all adults went through, I mean, just based on how high strung everything in society is today, gosh, there's such a place for everything that you're describing. I mean, I think about when I go on vacation, it takes me 2 or 3 days to start to unwind. Then I get like 1 day of relaxation. And then I spend the last 2 or 3 days stressing about all the stuff I have to do when I get back. So,
by the way, when Chris was quoting somebody, I was hoping he would quote Henry David Thoreau, but you let me down, Chris, but that's all right.
No,
he gave a really great answer, though.
He's going to give me one. Watch. Yeah.
No, Henry David Thoreau is definitely in our program. You can't have a nature curriculum without
him. Yes. Side by side.
Yep.
And this may be the toughest question of the day. I don't know, but as your list of people that have been on this journey with you has grown, is there one that stands out to you? Obviously, without disclosing any personal information, but one that stands out to you that you think about when you wake up and you're like, "This is why I'm doing this."
Yes.
One that you could share with our audience. Yeah.
So we had a participant on a trip a few years ago. We'll call him Justin, Army veteran. He was in an explosion that rattled his brain so much that he lost his ability to read. Not only could he not read, he could not understand what numbers were. Meaning, if I held up 3 fingers, he couldn't tell me what that meant. So he spent years and years. He was discharged and spent years rehabbing, relearning how to read, how to count. He was married, had a young daughter. That was what kept him, in his words, that's what kept him alive. It was such a struggle for him to really learn how to read, to be a basic functioning human. And he contemplated suicide multiple times. And he always came back to, I want to be able to read to my daughter. And this is all after he's on the trip with us. And we have these group discussions where we're reading out loud passages, and Justin's raising his hand to read, and he's doing his best. He's reading, he's fumbling on words, mispronouncing, he's getting lost in the sentences. And at first we're like, okay, like not everyone's a strong reader. That's okay. But he kept volunteering to read. And after a while, I'm like, why is Justin, like, he's obviously not the strongest reader. Like, why does he keep offering to read? And then he tells us his story, and I'm just thrown back. I was like, wow. The courage that Justin had to not only share his story, but to continue to volunteer to read in front of his peers, a peer group that is probably the harshest peer group that you'll ever have or be a part of, because iron sharpens iron. But he had the courage to continue to read in front of us despite his imperfection. Being around Justin, I can never complain about a minor inconvenience or even a major inconvenience, because I mean, this man overcame some of the most tremendous obstacles, and then to not only overcome them, but to test them, to continually test his standing amongst his peers, to be vulnerable, is just a tremendous inspiration. And I'll never forget Justin and his courage around.
Great story. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Appreciate you sharing that. And I think about the fact that's a testament to the environment that you have created in this program. So you've created this place where it was safe for him to be courageous and vulnerable and to do that.
Absolutely.
Is it time?
I think that it is. I think that it is. Unless there's anything else, Justin, that we have forgotten to ask that you think it would be really important for our audience to know about Huts for Vets.
Well, like I said earlier, Huts for Vets is continuing to grow. We're finding new ways to strengthen our programming. Not only do we want to continue to offer women's trips, men's trips, and co-ed trips, but we understand the dynamic and the hardships that military life can have on a family unit. So we're experimenting with having trips that bring along spouses, and that way they can have this program and these experiences and tool set to heal or be vulnerable together and to heal together and bring back this tool set to their home life and grow together in a positive manner.
I love that.
Love it. Yep.
Yes.
Now, Tom, I think it can be time.
It's time for the Military Minute. This is our favorite part of the show as we get to the end of it. Okay, Chris? And it's, if you get the last podcast trivia question right, Jodi sends you a gift card.
Oh,
for $1,000.
All right.
Out of my personal account.
Right.
Wow.
Wait, there's fine print somewhere.
But this question, he might know the answer to the last podcast question.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of it.
Yes. So we'll see. You can't answer this one. The second one, we're not going to let you take a stab at. But on our last Military Minute, it was a question about our previous guest from the Headstrong Project, if you remember, Tom.
I do.
And it was, what percentage of clients who come for a first session return for further treatment?
So if you were to guess, Chris, knowing in the mental health profession,
from 0%
or having connections to that, yeah. So he's got a 100.
You got a 1 in 100 chance of getting it.
Oh, that's easy.
Pretty good. I like those odds.
I like those odds. I'm going to play I'm playing Powerball tonight.
I'm just gonna go with one of my favorite numbers. I'm gonna say 81%.
Ooh, I was going to say go one less than 98. That would have been a good hint. But
97%.
97%.
Which is a pretty remarkable number.
81 would be remarkable.
Yes. 97, stellar. And so if you answer 97%, if you were a good listener, because that one was in the podcast last time.
It was.
You didn't have to go do research. So
we'll blame Chris because Chris didn't prepare well enough and listen to all 60 some odd
memorize
episodes.
them from start to finish.
Yep.
So if you answered 97%, watch for your name to drop as the lucky winner of $50 for yourself and $50 to a charity of your choice.
Like Huts for Vets.
Like Huts for Vets. You can go to hutsforvets.org and take care of that. This week's Military Minute, which none of us can answer. I did not know the answer. I am terrified about the next podcast when I have to pronounce the answer.
Oh, that's it. See, that's a spoiler alert, Jodi. Come on.
It's not. So there is a song called Rocky Mountain High. You might be familiar with it.
Look, he sang the first one verse in it.
Sing a little bit. Yeah, we're going to sing it here in a minute together. We know the artist is John Denver. And however, that was not his real name.
Oh.
I was years old when I learned that.
I would have thought that his name was.
I mean, that's such a cool name. But now that I get it, Rocky Mountain High, Denver. That's
See, I'm here
totally
for you.
a made up name.
Yeah.
But I was years old when I learned this. But what was his original last name, audience? Nobody answer.
Not Chris Joyce.
It was not Chris Joyce.
Yeah. No, he can't answer it.
So,
and it's not Henry David Thoreau.
Consult your friend Google, wherever you find tidbits about random musicians, and drop your answer when you see this week's podcast drop. And if you answer correctly, you too could win $50 for yourself and $50 to a charity of your choice.
Huts for Vets.
Beautiful.
I feel smarter.
Can you sing another John Denver song? Or can you name another John Denver song?
Is he the one that sings Take Me Home Country Road?
That's right.
Yeah.
Isn't that what when they play in Germany, the NFL? I know Sweet Caroline is what they play in London.
All right.
They play that
but they play Country Roads when they play in the Germany.
They play that at West Virginia, University of West Virginia, don't they? No. Yeah. They're Tennessee.
What's West Virginia's?
Mountaineers.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Wow. Oh, is Chris still here? All right. Let's go.
Sorry, Chris.
All right. So if you enjoyed today's episode as much as Chris Joyce did, go out to afbank.com and subscribe to the show. You can also rate us, leave us a comment on your favorite podcast platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. So, Chris, you're going to be famous again.
Yes.
And be on all these different podcast platforms. Thank you. You have a great passion for what you do. Thank you for representing your organization so well today.
Thank you very much for having me and share the mission of Butzer Vets. We're a small organization. We like it that way, but we also want to serve more veterans. So we gotta expand, and we're looking forward to it. We always want to get bigger and serve more veterans. So yeah, thank you for having us.
All right.
You've got the great foundation for it.
You
So
do.
thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you very much.
All right. See you, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Have a great day.
Bye.
You too.
Copyright Armed Forces Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All non-Armed Forces Bank owned apps, websites, company names, and product names are trademarks or registered trademarks of their respective owners. Their mention does not imply any affiliation with or endorsement by Armed Forces Bank of them or their products and services. They are merely used as examples of the many available apps, companies, and websites that offer similar services. Before using any app or website, you should carefully review the terms of use, data collection, and privacy policy. Apps may have an initial cost or in-application purchase features. This information is general in nature and is not intended to be legal, tax, or financial advice. Although Armed Forces Bank believes this information to be accurate, it cannot ensure that it could change. Statements or opinions of individuals referenced herein are their own, not Armed Forces Bank. Consult an appropriate professional concerning your specific situation and respective governing bodies for applicable laws, such as IRS.gov for current tax law. Armed Forces Bank, the Armed Forces Bank logo, and the Militarily Speaking logo are registered trademarks of Armed Forces Bank.